Hello everyone, I'm here to put together an announcement video. This is for the 1 minute Crazy House World Championship Final for 2019. This will be between Opperwesen and myself, John Lee. I gotta say I'm embarrassed that I knew last year who made the artwork, which is showing in the background just here, but I've now forgotten who it was, and I cannot find the record of who produced this. But I would like to give you credit, so please come forward if you are the artist that has made the artwork beside here, or if someone else knows, please put that in the comments. I just thought it was better to show that rather than nothing at all. So yes, I want to talk a bit about the history of the last couple of years, a bit about Opperwesen and myself. So Opperwesen is the current reigning champion of the 3+2 Crazy House World Championship from 2018. 3+2 meaning that was the time control played for that year, 3 minutes plus 2 seconds. This year it's just been 1 minute and 0 seconds. It's guillotine finish. I think there was intention to continue, a longer time format, but it didn't really happen this year. So we've just got the 1 minute Crazy House World Championship. Myself, John Lee, I was the inaugural champion of the 3 minute plus 0 second Crazy House World Championship from 2017. And I was defeated by Opperwesen last year in 2018 when I was attempting to defend that title. So yes, Opperwesen and we've played thousands of games against each other. We both know each other well. So there's nowhere for either of us to hide. Opperwesen has been improving so much over the last few years. Certain things important to bring up. We've got, what are the dates of the matches? So the first match is being played within 3 days. I'll actually bring up a website and I will post this link on the YouTube video afterwards. So let's bring the calendar just up here. Okay, make sure we can see that. There we go. So this is a website, teamup.com, and there's this really long string. I will post the link, but here you can actually look at this based on your own time zone. So the way you do that is at the bottom of the site. This is actually on London time at the moment. If you look at it, I'm going to change this to Sydney. The way you do this, you go show all time zones. I'm going to change it to Sydney time. Where are you? Sydney. Okay. And there you have it. So based on Sydney time, it's Saturday 26th October starting at 11 p.m. And that will continue through the next few Saturdays as well. So Saturday 2nd November starting at 11 p.m. Saturday 9th November starting at 11 p.m. Why have we got 3 sets? We'll be playing 100 games of 1 minute Crazy House spread across 3 different parts. So it will be 30 games played on the 26th of October, 30 games played on the 2nd November, and 40 games played on 9th November. So if you were to look at this from Amsterdam's point of view, and this is very important because I'm going to pick Amsterdam, that's where Opperwesen is from. Show all time zones. You do have daylight saving change kicking in Europe, which I was unaware of in between the matches. Where are we? Can't find Amsterdam. Really? There we go, Amsterdam. Okay. So for 26th October in Amsterdam, it's going to be a 2 p.m. start. But for 2nd November and 9th November, it will actually be a 1 p.m. start because daylight saving will end. I believe it's on the Sunday 27th October, and that could apply to other European countries as well. So do look at this website as the authority for when these matches will take place in your time zone. So that's very important to bring up first. what are we playing for? So this is the first Crazy House title to be determined by a guillotine bullet time control of 1 minute plus 0 seconds. Obviously we're fighting for glory of the title, but first prize is 300 US and second prize is 200 US. Importantly, how has this been funded? So there's been very generous support by the organizer, Little Plotkin, who had put forth $250 of his own money, and I offered to match his 250 to form a pool of 500. Where I have pulled funds from is actually from last year's Crazy House World Championship donation fund, where we had 5 candidates basically contribute their share that they were entitled to from last year's Crazy House World Championship. It's getting a bit confusing. Before I get into that, I want to say more about Little Plotkin, because I do want to give a huge shout out to him. So he's had the initiative to start up the inaugural 1 minute Crazy House World Championship. I think probably as early as late 2018, but early 2019. I want to thank him for contributing all his time to organise the event. I believe he's been involved in making sure the Knockout website has been displaying things appropriately, and also fielding numerous queries from different players, and all sorts of questions that could be involved there. So I think there's a lot that's gone on behind the scenes, and there's been a lot of pressure on his back in the earlier half of this year, getting it all together. But here we are. We've completed the candidates round successfully, and I just want to acknowledge that we wouldn't be here without Little Plotkin putting his contribution forward. So yes, huge shout out to Little Plotkin. Now, I started talking a bit about this, donation fund from last year and this, and how it's all been funded. I wanted to, point out, just on the note of Little Plotkin, we really are lucky to have such significant contributors within our community, and I will be talking more about that topic and some funding towards our contributors in Crazy House before moving on to cover a bit of a recap of this year's event to date, and my perceptions and expectations leading up to the grand final. So just to say it again, so we've got first prize 300, second prize 200. There's a fund of $500. Little Plotkin had put in $250 of his own money this year. Now, last year on my channel, I had set a target, an ambitious target of $1,111 for the 11 candidates that played in the Crazy House World Championship in 2018. Now the deal was basically, upon completion of all the matches in the round robin for the 11 candidates, they'd be entitled to their share of $1,111, and we actually made the target, which was phenomenal. Now when I went to distribute the funds, and these are the candidates, just so you got a reminder, we've got Opperwesen, 12-Teen, GSVC, Little Plotkin, Blitz Bullet, Clearcast, Juanet, JK the Bullfrog, Master Tan, Sexy and I Know It, and Fumitox. We had 11 candidates, very generous from the community to donate $1,111 collectively, and also very generous for 5 of those 11 players who actually refused to take their funds, their share of the funds. It was $101 per player, and they returned that money basically to say, look, I'd like to see this go back into Crazy House in some form. So to note who they were was Juanet, JK the Bullfrog, Master Tan, Sexy and I Know It, and Fumitox. Okay, so basically at the start of 2019 we had $505 in the kitty to go towards Crazy House. I had matched Little Plotkin's contribution of $250 with $250 coming from this 505 that I just mentioned, and one of the candidates from 2018 who chose to remain anonymous among those 5 said that he would like to see $100 go towards contributors in the Crazy House community, not necessarily the players and just towards prize money. So, it could be people writing articles, could be streamers, could be tournament organisers, record keepers, developers of artwork. So we've got that in the background here. And so, I'd already noted that, $100 would go towards contributors to Crazy House related to the 1 Minute Crazy House World Championship 2019. At this time, I'd actually like to expand the allocation to $250 to contributors of Crazy House in 2019, and that's basically to match the contribution that's gone towards prize money. And it makes sense. I mean, that's how much is basically left of that surplus from last year that was donated by the players. And what I've got in mind is basically $250 in the form of 10 gifts of $25 each. And we'll also expand the scope to include any positive contributions to the Crazy House community during 2019. To make this democratic, I'd appreciate if you can post some nominations in the YouTube comments below. And then I'm not sure how we go about this. We could put these nominations in a forum and vote for them if you like. I'd like to say, there are some really significant contributors in the community, not to bias nominations or votes, but some people may actually be entitled to more than one of these $25 gifts, depending on public opinion. So I wanted to get that said first. Apologies if it's been a bit long-winded, but I do want to be transparent and clear on how we're going to distribute that money that was raised last year before this year ends. So yes, please put some nominations below for contributors to Crazy House, tournament organisers, streamers, authors of articles, developers of software or forums, record keeping, artwork production. There could be things I haven't mentioned. Anything that's helped to support Crazy House during 2019 in terms of growth or its quality. Okay? Alright, so let's get back on track to Crazy House World Championship for 2019, what's happened so far. This year we also had a similar fundraising activity. We had just 8 candidates. I had set a target of $888. Unfortunately, I just haven't had as much time this year to cover matches on live stream and give our viewers, the opportunity to donate and the opportunity to view more content. We still had very generous donations to just under $420, though we did fall short of that target. Basically, I had a newborn child come along in June, and that's been very limiting on my time, which has overlapped with the time when matches have been played. So I've not claimed any share of this 420 as a candidate myself. I'm distributing it to the other 7 players. It's already been received by Penguin GM 1, Chicken Crossroad, Oppa Wesen, Blitz Bullet, and Variants Only. Master Tan has very generously donated his share, his $60 back into Crazy House, and I am still waiting to hear from Little Plotkin. I'm not sure if he's just simply not seen my message and hasn't sent me his PayPal address, or if he just wants to offset the $60 against his personal contribution of $250 upon completion of the final between myself and Oppa Wesen. Okay, so a recap of the Crazy House World Championship so far. So for those of you who are new or just like to see the history of how this has gone, we actually started with 64 players, and we started with a knockout. So I'm going to bring this window across. Now let me shrink my own face here so that we can see a bit more. But yeah, this is organised by Little Plotkin. The 1 Minute Crazy House World Championship started with 64 players. It was a knockout where each match was 20 games of 1 Minute Crazy House. We had 1 versus 64, 32, 33. So here's all the players. It's on this website, challenge.com. It's probably short enough that you can read it from this screen. And this knockout was played, all the way with every score recorded, down to just 8 players, and so let's just go across. That means you had to, hold on, let's expand this screen a bit. You basically had to get through 3 rounds, so 64 to 32 to 16 to the final 8, and the final 8 were myself, John Lee, Penguin, Master Tan, variants only. Got to say, look, a surprise came in there. I mean, Juanet would have been a seed and picked to come in, and he just got pushed out by variants only, very marginally, 11 to 9. Opperwezen, Little Plotkin, Chicken, and Blitz Bullet. The quality of some of the players that got knocked out in the final 16. We've got Clearcast here. We've got Fumitox, Garnek 123, John Stuckey, Retarded Platypus, King Switcher, PKM. You've had some players that were in the candidates from 2018 that actually got knocked out in the final 16. So it's been a very robust format just to get to the final 8. And if that wasn't robust enough, then the final 8 were also then further split by a round robin, which we call the candidates. So let's just bring this up. And this is the record kept of the candidates. So every player has had to play another, and the games went up to 30 games per match here. So every player has had to play 210 games. Let's take a summary of this. Yes, there's a lot of numbers on the page, but if I can just fit in most of this, let's see if it behaves. Yes, okay. So now it's marked me as first here. I mean, I was fortunate enough to win all 7 matches, but honestly, with Oppa it was only 16 to 14, and really we weren't going off match points anyway. We were going off how many game points were won, and you can see it was 146 versus 145, so that's basically equal. We had Chicken Crossroad in 3rd, Penguin in 4th, Master Tan in 5th, Blitz Bullet just narrowly in 6th over Little Plotkin by half a point, and Variants only in 8th position. In terms of who won matches, it actually kind of went through a hierarchy. Basically, you can see the match points won. I think it was Plotkin, Variants, and Blitz Bullet. They each beat each other just once. So nobody walked away without a victory. We had Plotkin defeating Variants only. Variants only defeated Blitz Bullet, and Blitz Bullet defeated Little Plotkin. Then you've got Master Tan, who walked away with 3 victories against those said players: Plotkin, Variants only, Blitz Bullet. And then Penguins had 4 victories against those 4 players. Chickens had victory against those 5. Opperwesens had victory against those 6 previously mentioned, and I've had victories against all 7. So, in a way, it was kind of, there would, if you, the person who was, was 5th place was beating everyone in 6th, 7th, 8th, and the person in 4th was beating everyone beneath them. Anyway, that's just something I only noticed at the end of the event. So phenomenal that it's been able to be completed. And I do recall when I had a discussion with Little Plotkin much earlier in the year, he was saying how keen he was to actually make sure that the candidates were complete and fully finished, because I think in 2018 we may have had just 1 or 2 matches which didn't quite get there in the end, but it is complete, and out of respect of that, we've not played the final until this has been done. Now, I want to share some of my own perceptions leading up to the match against Opperwesen. I'm sure that's a burning question if you're watching. I'm considering myself the underdog going in this year. I did play final against Opelwesen last year, and I thought I had an edge, maybe something like 55 to 45 or thereabouts. Opelwesen did come out winning last year. I think he was better prepared. I think he performed better in the matches. He was very deserving of the win. This year, I actually feel like heading into it that Opelwesen's the favourite, and that's for a number of reasons. Don't pay too much attention to this score or just winning by one. I'll say that 6 out of the 7 matches I played occurred before my son was born in June, and since then it has been difficult to get sleep, and it's been difficult just to even get a stream online. So I'm already a family man working a job. Now I've got 2 kids, one of which is a newborn, so my time is more limited. I'll be giving it my best shot. I'll be aiming to prepare as well as I can in terms of sleep, in terms of just eating well and trying to have no distractions for the match. Hopefully prepare a few openings, and possibly more importantly, prepare a few openings to avoid. I'd say that Opelwesen is better equipped in terms of opening theory than I am. So look, I mean, to have a chance at this, I gotta be realistic about my weaknesses and realistic about my limitations, and try to focus on those as much as I can with the limited time I have before we start playing. That's just my view on things, interesting to hear what the community thinks, but I do feel that others will also feel that way, that Opelwesen will have an edge. He's basically in our head-to-head matches, I feel, during 2019, he generally walks away with more than 50%. That's all you need to do. And very recently I got a note, he's actually beaten me while using pieces that change colour and type randomly. I wanted to show you guys an example of what that looks like from his view, because he did send it to me, but unfortunately he's made his video private, so I can't share that. But he was using his blindfold account. I thought he was playing blindfold in one of the elite Crazy House arenas, and in fact he's playing with something worse than blindfold. It's this piece set that every couple seconds just changes your pieces to random colours, and it changes bishops to queens and knights, and I don't know, you can have 5 kings on the board, and I just don't know how he plays with that, but he's been able to beat me while having all that distraction. It's kind of like, what are my chances when he's playing with a set of pieces that don't change randomly? Anyway, I think, realistically, I'm getting a bit older. We've got younger talent entering. I'd say, all of the candidates here, I expect all of them must be younger than I am. I'm not getting any faster in old age, and look, realistically, this could be my last Crazy House World Championship final that I get to participate in, because it may be very difficult to qualify again. So I am glad to qualify. I hope to enjoy it, and I hope that the viewers get some entertainment value and some inspiration from the match. So there we have it. Just to reiterate, have a look at this website here. Here we go. I've got it up again. Go and check it out on this teamup.com website. I will post the link, and just remember to change to your time zone here underneath, and then you'll make sure that you catch these matches if you're interested in them. As I'm closing the donation fund for the candidates already, I will start a new donation fund, basically for Crazy House in 2020. Better that we get started early, and I think people feel they have more to contribute when it's for a cause like that. It's not donated to my channel, or not to me, or not to a new desk or a new computer or a new camera or anything like that. No, I think it's better if we're servicing Crazy House as a game, with the contributions that people put forward. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, please put your nominations for contributors to Crazy House in 2019 down in the comments below, and we'll find a way to diplomatically organise some votes to work out how $250 can be dispersed in the form of 10 gifts of $25 to our contributors. Okay, that should be enough for now. I'll leave it there. Games are starting this weekend. I will be streaming them live on Twitch, so I will also put that link down at the bottom for people who are new to Crazy House. That's it. Hey, alright, here we go. I'm going to give it my best shot. Good luck to Opperwesen. I expect him to prepare hard and come with his beast mode on. I kind of feel that he probably has the means to control that and be a beast if he wants to be. I'm sitting here hoping that beast mode will come out from my side. At the end of the day, we're just fighting to beat the man on the other side. Hope it'll be a great contest, and we'll see you then. Alright, take care everyone. Bye for now.